Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boss Rush Pride Panel of 2022. I'm your host, the enlightened, excited Eddie V. Joining me in the producer seat, he's the co-host. He's the gunner hunter. My bro, him. The PC muscle race. The one, the only, and the lovely, sensual, Mr. LeRon Dawkins.
What's poppin'? hello, everyone. How's it going?
How are you, LeRon?
Wow, that was a very colorful way to introduce me. Thank you. I'm doing okay. It's a happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Pride. It's not hot outside, thank God.
Oh, amen to that. And of course, everybody, we have our special guest. You have seen him on Nintendo Power Block. He's sitting around with GameRant, and him with his beautiful, wonderful guys whenever you need help. His skin is not only glowing, it's always popping. The one, the only, the beautiful, and excellent, and exquisite. It's the Greysun Morales.
My God.
Oh my God.
No.
Hello. What's up, Ed?
I swear these intros he's giving us, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, get a room, you guys." God, it's too much gushing.
I love to uplift you guys and make you feel good and everything. So
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, well, and thank you, the ever enlightened, and always excited, the jewel of the Boss Rush Network, Mr. Edward Varnell.
Oh, thank you for this introduction, guys. Yes, everybody, we are back for our Pride panel for 2022. We got 4 great topics for you guys, but before we get into it, just how has everybody been doing this Pride season? Greysun, how has your Pride month been?
So far, so good. The weather has been beautiful here in Chicago. Maybe a little bit too hot sometimes, as you know. It's been great so far. I plan on actually going to like the Pride Parade in Chicago next week. We'll see what happens. But so far, so good.
All right. What about you, LeRon? How has the Pride month been to you?
Well, Pride month is kind of like my month anyway, because my birthday's on June the 3rd. So I'm always in the spirit and stuff. I am trying to figure out like what Pride event I'm going to go to. There's actually a couple of them going on right now in my area. But for the most part, like it's been really low key. I've been watching a lot of given that it's that month, it's Pride Month and stuff like that, you always find like it's explosion of like television, TV shows, movies and stuff, So I've been watching and catching up on some of that stuff. Like I just saw, I watched Fire Island.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, the night it came out, and then I've seen it 3 more times since then. It's such a good movie. I'm one of those people that I will run a movie into the ground if I love it, and I gotta say, as far as like a queer film goes, like this has turned out to be one of my favorite ones because like there's not a lot of even though this has like the queer angst, I think that's just par for the course in this day and age
right
now. There's not a lot of tragedy, there's not a lot of stereotypical stuff that we see. My boyfriend, he always gets mad whenever like we watched Heartstopper back in May, and he
I heard
like,
that's
what?
really good.
Oh,
I just watched it too.
It is really good, and it just got renewed for two more seasons.
Oh, I have to watch it then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good. I mean, like you can literally binge it in like a weekend because like it's 6 episodes. It's some of them are under 30 minutes. Like they're like right in between the 25 to 30 minute mark, and stuff like that. And so my boyfriend is always like, why is it that it's always gotta be like the nerd, the jock situation? And I was like,
I know.
I was like, babe. I was like, it's high school. Like, it's always the nerd and the jock situation in these types of things. It's either the nerd and the jock, or it's the jock and the drama. The drama geek, or
right.
or the band geek, or something like that. It's how it always is. And he's like, yeah, I'm just tired of it. I'm like, and it's like like we talk about like visibility and stuff like that. Like, if you looked around a typical high school, usually the nerds, usually the band camps, usually the drama geeks, Glee Squad, all that stuff. They're always gay.
That is true.
It's true.
I mean, yeah. Every now and then you find that lone rebel person, who looks like he stepped right off of Grease. Like he got the jacket. Looks like he's in the biker gang and whatnot. And yeah, that guy's gay, but it's not always like that. I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, you step into like a choir or a glee class in high school and say gay, and like 4 people are gonna look.
Right.
Yeah, as someone who was in a lot of theater stuff in high school, that's accurate. Like there was barely straight guys in there.
I was a jock and I was on the marching band. So there you go.
I was in choir in Pound Squad.
There you go.
See, there you go.
Falling to the stereotypes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been my main thing. And when we get to playing with Pride, I'm gonna have a conversation about that because I've done some things in games. Well, in a game.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've pretty much been trying to watch a lot of of the video game releases, announcements, I should say, for Summer Game Fest or E3, not E3, as the Spa Camp calls it. Shout out to them. And I've literally just been working, so I haven't really gotten to enjoy Pride or anything due to the fact of work. But the games that have came out that I've played and the discussions I've been having with people has just been really fun. Preparing for Nintendo Power Block 300 has got me like literally hyped, but yet got my mind running around because I'm trying to. We're doing this top 30 Nintendo games, and if I didn't put no third party on mine, I might have to take some off. But just trying to do first party for Nintendo to rank them is mind blowing. I don't think I could do it. It's
like picking your favorite kids, right? It's like
it really like if I get a list of, if I had to do something for Microsoft or for PlayStation, I think I could do it with ease. Nintendo, because they have such a long history of games, trying to put like who would be my number one and what would you rank everything else. Definitely if you played it at that time compared to if you played it now, my list is ever changing. Like I have my number one. My number one is staying. But then it's just like, what do I do from 2 to the bottom?
Spoiler alert. His number one is Paper Mario: The Origami King. Spoiler
We're gonna
alert.
talk right after this episode.
I don't know what number one is, but all I know is based off the conversation and group chats that I've had with you over the last, God, it's like 2+ years now.
Yeah.
It's that game. If you ask me, it's that game. I don't know what your number one is. I have not been peeking at your notes. I haven't hacked you or anything like that. So I don't know.
Oh, thank you. I could just see. What have you ever wanted to hack a friend's list and just redo it without them knowing? And what would you literally put on it? I know if someone hacked mine, my number one will probably say Grand Theft Auto 5, and I would just burn the world. If you have never seen an Aries upset at a +10, oh, you would see me at a +50 of anger. That happened. But Greysun, what would happen if you had just a top 5 list and someone took it and redid it and posted it everywhere, like leaked it? What would you say? What would be that game that you wish that wasn't on there?
Like Skyrim or like some game like that or something that I've actually like never ever played. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto probably for me too. I'll be angry. I'm like, this is not my favorite game. So take this off the list.
It had to be one of the post Yoshi Island games, like Yoshi games,
Crafted
like
World or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Ed knows how I feel. Like Yoshi is like the most annoying character. Cool character in concept, but when they gave them all voices and everything, that's when it just got out. When they gave all the Mario characters, all the Mushroom Kingdom people voices and stuff, that's when it just Oof. Like Yoshi's the most aggravating, annoying one. He has a sound for literally everything. Everything.
He's so cute though.
Not even Mario
Like,
and Luigi have sounds for like everything they do. But Yoshi has literally a sound for everything. He has a sound for if he licks his tongue out. At like when he's like upright, he has a different one for when it's low. We're not even going to talk about when he's hovering. Like the only place I can stand him in is like Yoshi's Island, the original one.
then you got the crying baby in that one too.
Right.
Yeah, and the crying baby is not even that much because the crying baby is like it's just like in real life. A baby starts crying, you get it fast.
Yeah, it makes you want to get to it faster. So.
Yeah.
I would just want to put Yoshi's Crafted World on LeRon's list now.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
Yeah, I would really show up. Game. I would literally show up on your doorstep.
If I come up with German chocolate or cheesecake, what would you?
It doesn't matter. You still get punched. I'm eating the cake, but you get punched in the face.
Dang it!
Anyways, Yoshi podcast now.
Yes. Yeah. So today everybody know, Greysun, you come from GameRant. You want to just talk about what you do there, quickly?
Oh yeah, sure. So I write for GameRant.com. I'm the lead guides editor over there, so I pretty much sort of plan all of our guide content for like the big AAA games and even like smaller indie titles. And I also do a lot of writing myself. It's mostly like 98% guides, but occasionally I'll do like a new story or get to review something. So yeah, if you guys like guides and like getting some help, we have a lot of guides for like everything. So yeah.
All right.
So,
and LeRon, you just want to let people know what you do here at Boss Rush?
Yeah, I'm the lead host, the lead producer for the Crossroads podcast, which we're now calling the Crossroads Gamecast because Crossroads initially started off as just PlayStation content, and it kind of morphed to PlayStation and PC because it seemed like I always talked about PC stuff, and we wanted to get some people that actually did talk about PC, every now and then. And eventually, because right now there is no traditional Xbox dedicated show for the Boss Rush Network, we've incorporated Xbox content. So now it's the Crossroads Gamecast where we talk about PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. But I'm also like just all over the place doing my thing, in different other parts of the Boss Rush Network community. Like I'm one of the main panelists on Boss Rush podcast itself. I'm lead host for Boss Rush After Dark, which if you don't know about, Ed will mention something when we talk about our patrons.
Yes.
And then I'm on various other like standard definition projects and things like that. Like you can hear me on the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Ed and Mark, as well as there's a Mass Effect standard definition I'm on with Stoy. I just kind of do my thing. I stream when I try to stream, whenever I get the chance. I try to upload content to YouTube whenever I get the chance, and I'm just your nerd that just does the streaming stuff.
Yes, and I am host and also one of the co-founders of Boss Rush Network. I am host of Nintendo Pop Block and Expression Pass, also host of Talk the Walk and other podcasts here. So you guys can find me there. But we also have a Patreon at Boss Rush that you guys could support us. And if you join us with Patreon, just for $1, you get shows early, like Standard Definition, Standard Definition, After Dark, and more shows a week or 2 weeks earlier with it. So we'll plug on how you guys can support us that way at the end of the show, just to give you guys a reminder. But we are on Patreon, and we also have a store which you can also buy some of our merch there. And I will give a little plug for that later. But everybody, let's get into the first topic. And our first topic is, with titles like Tell Me Why, Life is Strange, Mass Effect Collection, and even an indie game, Lake, that is out, how do we feel about LGBTQA plus representation in games today? Do you think we have more to look forward to? What would you love developers to include in their games? So let's talk about the first one. How are we feeling about LGBTQA plus representation in games today? I'm gonna start with you, Greysun.
I feel like we do have, of course, we have more representation than ever before, but I think it's still not where it needs to be. Of course, especially for the bigger like AAA type stuff, we're still seeing games with white male cis, characters as the lead, and occasionally we'll have like, oh, there's a black woman that's part of the story, or like, oh, this side character is gay or something. But we really don't see like AAA studios putting a gay character like front and center. Probably the biggest thing I can think of right now is like The Last of Us, with like Ellie being a gay character. And I don't know for like, I wouldn't say your story is like handled perfectly all the time, especially with like part 2, but The Last of Us Part 1 is a really good example of like having a gay character and not really like making it like what's the word, like they don't really talk about it, right? It's just a thing that happens. It's not like pushed in your face like, oh, she's gay. It's like it's handled well. And we do have a lot of gay representation and indie games too. I feel like indie games do a way better job than AAA studios these days too, just because they probably they can take more risk with that kind of stuff. Because I think the main reason we don't have that in bigger games is because they think it may not sell well if the character is gay or queer in some type of way. I hope we have more to look forward to. Right now I can't really think of any big titles that are like gay centric or focus on a gay character. So we definitely need more of that. And as far as like developers including stuff in games, I would love to see more like same-sex romance, especially Nintendo. We get like games like Fire Emblem where you're kind of forced to, if you pick a male character, you have to romance a female characters. If you pick a female character, you have to romance the male characters. And it's like, that's such a stupid way to go about things, especially like, not everyone is straight, right? So like there should be more options for things like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What about you, LeRon?
I think well, as far as how I feel about the actual representation in games today, one thing I will say is like it's actually gotten better. Like I've been doing this video games thing for a long time and stuff like that. So it was one of those things where it was almost practically unheard of or unseen. When I was younger doing this, and as I've gotten older and played more games and stuff like that, I definitely see there's not a prevalence, but it's definitely getting more and more. I'm just gonna say mainstream, like yeah, I agree with you, Greysun. Like it would be nice to see an actual like front and center like gay character, like with actual gay situations as like the main actual character for the game, whatever game they're representing and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I'm appreciative where it's at, and I can see where developers everywhere are trying and things like that. Like at the end of the day, sometimes like unless you're completely independent and stuff like that, you can't just do what you want to do. You kind of have to do what the people who are providing the money. And when I say that, I mean like the shareholders, the like and stuff like that. I do say that I think we definitely have more to look forward to. Like if you look at the world around us as a whole, like it definitely we are getting more and more progressive and stuff like that. People are starting to realize that like hey, like gay people are they're everywhere. I mean well for every 50 people that you see on the street, you're guaranteed to run into a few that are gay, whether they broadcast it or not. Like that's just it's just the way it is, and I think with what games are doing, they're actually introducing it in a way that's a little that's digestible for just the everyday audience and stuff like that. Yeah, like we see the vitriol in the reaction sometimes, like hey, like back when The Last of Us 2 like premiered at E3 like a few years back, man, people like really like got upset about the fact that they're seeing Ellie like kiss another woman, kiss and dance with another woman, and it's like and the question about that is like, did you guys even play the first game? Like the first game, if you got the remastered game, you actually saw like she actually had a relationship with another girl in that game, so like that and things like that. But like yeah, so I get developers have to toy that line, and stuff like that. They have to figure out like what's gonna be good, what's gonna work out. Like BioWare kind of handles it pretty well, and stuff like that. You kind of shape your character story, like like once Mass Effect 3. Well, actually, it was the second Dragon Age, right? where like you can 100% sculpt your male or your female character to be LGBTQ or whatnot based off of how you interact with the other characters. Whereas Mass Effect 3, I know Mass Effect 3 was the first game where, well, actually, Mass Effect 1, females could romance other females, but males couldn't romance other males until Mass Effect 3.
I thought
Oh,
it
really?
was 2, because I was able to romance it too.
Who'd you romance? I don't remember.
Uh,
I
Goodness, who did
I assume that I thought all 3 Mass Effect games you were able to.
Nah,
Mm-mm.
no.
Oh.
The crazy thing about Mass Effect is like it actually was originally intended that like anybody could romance anybody they wanted as long as the character they were looking at wanted to be romanced by them, But
you know,
yeah,
bro, LeRon, you're right. It is 3 because Cadence, the Asian guy from 1, appeared in 3, and that's when I was
Yeah.
able to romance.
yeah, that was the first time because I was like the only other human male I remember, that was a regular part of your crew was Jacob, and Jacob was definitely he didn't swing that way.
Right.
the black dude, he didn't swing that way.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I don't know what I would say I would love for developers to include in their games. I feel like like we get in this slippery slope of like telling developers like how we want a game to be and stuff like that. I mean, look at how people react when games end a certain way and they don't like, or just games have a different narrative, than what they anticipated like when games come out. So I think we run the slippery slope. I think just encouraging them to just like just be more brave and diverse. I think that's the best. I think that's the best thing I could tell a developer to do as far as like what they would want to do with their game, stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, like I just want the video game to entertain me and like have me, give me some sort of fulfillment, stuff like that. And like I said, I understand. The developers are trying. They're doing what they can do with whatever bounds they are. Like I said, some studios are completely independent, like Hideo Kojima. Like hey, he could be like everybody's gay in this next game. Get over it, stuff like that. Whereas like the guys who work at Bethesda and stuff like that, like like they have to pitch it and stuff like that and see what the board directors are feeling like and things like that.
Yeah. There's also an issue there with like some game studios that aren't diverse at all. Yeah. So the idea, like you guys have seen that whole Blizzard Overwatch thing where they created a tool to help create diverse characters and basically use it as like a rating or a scale. It's like is this character like colored? Does this person have a different weight? It's like they're just trying to like fill in these check marks, right? And that's a big issue because when you don't have diverse employees, you're like, of course they're not gonna be able to include diversity in their games because they don't know that they're missing diverse. It's like they don't know.
It doesn't feel
it's fine because it's not organic either, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It feels
it's hard to tell those stories.
It feels more manufactured than organic.
Right, and if they try to tell a story that's like with a diverse character or like a minority, it can be messy because they don't have, unless they have a specific person to reach out to help them write the story. Like we've seen stuff with like games like Hellblade, right, where she has a disability and they went out to seek organizations that are familiar with that so they can write a story that's factually correct and it shows what a person like that goes through, right? Which
also while doing the research, this part of the sales that they were getting were going to funds to help them with that.
It's really cool.
So they were like, even though we're learning, we're also making sure everybody else learn, and we're going to donate to help that research continue to grow and everything. And with this, I think it's a big thing that representation has grown, has kind of come to the foreground, because back in the day in a lot of video games, first of all, we wasn't thinking about characters and stories. We were really thinking about what place I could put my initials on the leaderboard at the arcade, or if I could beat this level, or what is this music. So at a time when video games started getting more stronger with their graphics and everything, they were able to dive into more detailed stories and bring out character backgrounds and stuff. And by the time we get to the PlayStation, GameCube, and Xbox, stories were becoming more cinematic. So you weren't still able to tell them, but there was still this problem of this is a white male character and I'm following them on their journey, and that's about it. So it's about being strong and looking like that. When indie games kind of started coming and games still started getting more powerful, that's when stories started being told differently. I always talk about Papa and Yo, about the character and dealing with his alcoholic father and stuff. We started looking at that. We started looking at Fat
Gone Home.
Princess,
Yeah.
Gone Home, Fat Princess, and Heavy Rain, and stories started becoming more interesting, and everybody started to realize why narrative is important to video games. And once characters started devolving into different races and everything, and not being so stereotypical, we were able to break that mold in storytelling. So now in the forefront, we do have gay characters and gay stories. We did Tell Me Why for Talk the Walk, and we was talking about this is kind of the first game that features a trans character, and don't not work with the trans community in order to get to this character right and everything. The Wholesome Game Direct, they have queer developers who are making games. So we have stuff like Boyfriend Dungeon around, to be able to tell kind of these quirky games. And yes, it plays a little bit on the sex appeal about stuff. But when it really dives into like character development, their background, they're telling their histories. They're telling the ups and downs that they went to. And it's going to be something that's going to be relatable to somebody. At other times, it's just a visibility that certain people want in games in the queer community, and be done and be treated with respect, with love and care. Definitely for me, to answer my own question, I think we do have more to look forward to. I think we have more to help people understand. I should say straight people who don't know a lot about the queer history and why things matter. If they could tell those stories into why it matters during this medium of video games, they will understand why certain bills and certain laws and things, which we're going to be talking about in the next section, why they are hurtful and what they could mean and stuff. And if they could tell it to a game that people could comprehend, they will understand why this stuff matters. So what I would love for developers to include, like in future games, is kind of take a look at the world things that are happening and kind of enter and put it in. I know it may feel a little bit political, but you need somewhere to start to help people understand why it may seem by words it's a good thing, but in execution it's not. And
Agreed.
and that's the way to help educate people with that. So I can't wait to see more. I'm great to see that there are different people of color, of gender, of sexuality coming in to make games and being able to express. And speaking about The Last of Us Part 2, the debacle, it's just like people were already hating the game because of the leak of the story. They even hated it more when they seen Ellie and stuff. But it was something, like you said, LeRon, did you play the first game? Did you not understand this character and everything? Like, it wasn't obvious, but they did let people know that, hey, this is part of this character and everything.
And the crazy part is, like, queer characters have been around for a long time. Like, I mean, we think about this, like, Poison from Street Fighter, like, back when that character was in her original game, Final Fight. Like, yeah, like that was like that character was always there. Birdo from freaking Super Mario 2, queer. I mean, like queer characters are out there and stuff like that. Some people just, and I get it. Some people have their own narrative in their head that they, and that's fine because sometimes not everybody's mind is wired to go that direction. I get that too, but like when you find something out and when you find out that this is what was originally planned for the character, you can't be but that upset about it. You know what I mean? It sounds kind of crazy to be upset about something you cannot control.
Right. And it's I think people get the idea that, oh, this is part of the story. They even hated it more when they seen Ellie and stuff. But it was something that with queer characters, it's always going to be about being hypersexual. That is always going to be about
Mm.
sex, and it's not really that. You know, look
queer
at Ben.
characters queer characters are about being themselves, like that's
Exactly.
that's the spirit of queerness, like I mean, like you've got some queer people, yeah, you got some queer people like they broadcast it, with the loudest megaphone and all that stuff, but you got other queer characters, you got other queer people. It's just like, I exist, I'm here, and just leave me alone,
Exactly.
Right.
love it or leave it,
Right. Like we just take a Bayonetta and then we're gonna move on. Everybody complaining about her using her sexuality, but Bayonetta is on some demon's little blade thing, swirling around, shooting demons and kicking people high in the air, and whipping people and everything. And yes, it's over the top sexualization, but she is kicking a demon in the head and doing football punts to a airplane, like the
Look.
most ridiculous stuff. Like
Look,
you
look,
can't
look, look! You're not gonna start talking about my girl Cereza now. Come on now.
now. Shoot, when Bayonetta 2 came out, Bayonetta is weird. She didn't get the. I feel like yes, her game sold with 1, but she didn't get the respect when 2 came out. And then this is outside of a Nintendo thing. When Bayonetta 2 came out, that's when everybody started realizing the power of Bayonetta, and realized on how just outside of the gameplay, looking at the cutscenes and how she walks in, she just be like, I'm tempting, and I'm doing this to tempt you because I know that I'm powerful, and I'm going to smack you through 5,000 houses in the building if you mess with me.
I
You
just,
know,
I just love I just love it when you're like doing your thing with her, like doing your combos and everything. She says, "I've had enough," and it's like, oh man,
It's so good. She's so confident, right?
I know.
right?
Wish we could all be like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're going to move on to the second topic. In Idaho, 31 white nationalists were caught in a U-Haul after the police were informed by a caller seeing the suspicious group dressed up in a hotel. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis passed the controversial Don't Say Gay bill, with Governor Abbott wanting families with a trans child or children that are going through gender-affirming care be investigated and considered as child abuse. I want to ask the panel, what is this obsession of these attacks and bills that are targeted to LGBTQA plus community? LeRon, I'm gonna go with you first on this one.
Where do I start? You know what? I'm gonna start with Ron DeSantis because like I never really liked that guy to begin with, and I'm not really gonna trash talk him on here, okay, the Don't Say Gay bill. This is not anything new. Like we've seen this before in different iterations and stuff like that since the 70s and stuff like that. But I think this is the most prolific one because now like there is like an LGBTQA plus awareness within like the greater community of the United States and the world and stuff like that. So that's why this one seems so like big and so damning in a certain sense. But I'm just gonna say it like it is. This is Christian white nationalism, like
Yep.
especially with the 31 white nationalists, but like it's the Christian values and stuff are not being violated. I've never understood how like Christian values are being violated by somebody who does not impose themselves on Christians. I've never understood that, and I don't get what the obsession is with it. The Don't Say Gay bill though, like it's very it's framed in a way that says like we're doing this to protect children, but it actually makes things worse, especially for queer children, because because like sometimes home is not the safest place for them to be queer at. It's not and stuff like that. But like if a teacher suspects like this kid is gay and stuff like that, like under these laws and stuff, like one of the things they can do in these laws is report it to their parents and stuff like that. And the parental environment might not be the safest place for it. Like
Right.
It's weird. It's wild. It's all like mind your damn business. The other thing about the Don't Say Gay bill, that's odd and is weird and stuff like that. Is like it puts people in a box where they cannot like let themselves be acknowledged. Like for example, like if the teacher is gay, they can't ever mention in any part they have a partner or stuff like that.
Right.
I don't understand. It's like I said in the last segment, like they're out there in the world. Like, like it's a lot easier to deal with it when you know about it than it is to like have it be sprung on you as a surprise, stuff like that. So number one, like I don't know, like Florida's a weird ass state. I hope Ron DeSantis gets voted the fuck out, but who knows? Who knows? But hopefully the right people are doing the right thing as far as like handling this "Don't Say Gay" bill. I believe they are because like there's pushback, on the corporate level. There's pushback on in the private sector. There's pushbacks everywhere and stuff like that. So DeSantis, guys, like, why are y'all listening to him anyway? He basically ran y'all into the ground with COVID. Like, why are y'all listening to him? So that's my thing. Like, Florida, wake up. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Now, Governor Abbott. The sad part is, like, I used to claim Texas as a home state, so it pisses me off when I think about this stuff. But Jesus Christ, like, actually, I think Abbott is kind of he's like, I'm not sure if he's in the frying pan, in the fire, or inside the freaking whatever. But right now he's got so many hot topics that he has to deal with and stuff like that like he needs to just sit down and take a seat for a moment. The one thing I will say, like about trans awareness when it comes to children and stuff like that, like let that be in the hands of the parents and the child it deals with, because like outside forces meddling are just going to make things worse. And when I say make things worse, they're going to wind up like you think it's a child abuse situation when like parents are actually trying to like address the needs of their child, but you're abusing the child to the point where like when the government does this stuff, like it's a new form of child abuse, because like it becomes a meta type of bullying and stuff like that. Like you now have somebody outside your boundaries that are trying to force you to be something that you may or may not be and stuff like that. And that's also harmful and damning. Like people need to look at these laws and realize these laws also correlate to like suicide rates for queer people and queer kids and stuff like that. They need to look at that stuff. They need to look at how like they need to look at like when like what am I trying to say, queer bashing, gay bullying, all that stuff happens. You need to look at that stuff because like it amplifies all this stuff and things like that. And all people really trying to do is, like I said, live their lives and stuff like that. Now, if we want to talk about the white nationalists, I am so glad they got caught. I'm so glad.
Oh yeah.
Now here's the thing I'm gonna say about it. The police were great for informing us that like they rounded these guys up, they caught them and everything. But here's what I'm gonna say as far as like our law enforcement and our government is concerned. Like, hey, like we know for a fact that someone made the call and said, hey, like there's a bunch of white dudes like jumping into a U-Haul. They all look like they're about to do something crazy and stuff like that. For law enforcement, don't disclose how these people are getting caught, because it's just going to make them make them go different ways of making sure they can get these crimes done and stuff like that. We can't just walk out of a hotel looking like we're in the militia. We gotcha. Because now all these people, like they're businessmen, they're dressed up like people we would never suspect and stuff like that. So don't always leak how you got the information. Just say, hey, we were tipped off that this was happening and this is how we did it. Don't give all the super details and stuff like that. The main obsession with all this stuff is honestly like Christian white nationalism and stuff like that. And I say Christian nationalism and white nationalism in the same breath, because like 9 times out of 10 white nationalists are always saying it's our God-given purpose to do this and stuff like that. Like I've never heard a white nationalist not use God, God or country in like their justification for attacking. They never say, oh, like it was just it violated my lifestyle, so I wanted to do something about it. They always say it violates Christianity or violates God or violates our country, all stuff and things like that. So that's the main obsession, like, and the sad part is like these Christians, as they call themselves, they don't pay attention to their own scripture they're supposed to be following, stuff like that. I don't want to get preachy about this stuff, but
let me put your A flat. Yeah.
But yeah, And the other thing, like when we look at DeSantis and Abbott and stuff like that, they know that they can, if they frame it in a political way and stuff like that, they will get more votes, they'll get more people behind them and stuff like that. So because like last I checked, like we're supposed to separate church from state. Like I thought that was what the country was founded on and stuff like that, and we have politicians at even the most basic level that can't even get that right.
which you might be changing since there was now is 81% of Americans believing in God with that drop. So who knows? What about you, Gracie?
God, I mean, yeah, there's so much to unpack, right? But like, I just don't get I do get it. I mean, it's these people wanting they want the old America back, right? They want everything to be the same. They don't want us to be gay. They don't want anyone to be queer, trans, or anything. They don't want us to talk about it, right? And like LeRon was saying, that just makes it worse when people who are struggling with potentially coming out when they're young in school, and they're not allowed to talk about it with their classmates. They're not allowed to talk about it with their teachers, right? Without getting in trouble. And that's just insane to me, because sometimes at school it can be like a safe place for people or their friends to tell them, hey, I'm feeling this way, and they should be able to talk about that and be open, because otherwise they're making it seem like it's a bad thing. Because don't say gay bill, that sounds terrible, right? It's like, how can we not talk about what we are? Like, if we had a don't say straight bill, people would be up in arms about it, because that's what happens. And they're obsessed with just making our community just, I don't know. It's hard to talk about.
Yeah, it is, and I'm glad you touched on that, because like school is supposed to be another safe place, because a lot of times like kids don't always feel safe at home, but they feel much safer, if they're around their classmates or a teacher that they know, love, and trust and stuff like that, and basically this weaponizes teachers against them.
Yeah, and I feel like nowadays, like teenagers and stuff, they're, some people will probably be more comfortable coming out in high school or middle school than someone like in their 50s or 60s, just because I feel like kids are way more open these days. They're on TikTok and social media, and a lot of kids are gay now, and they come out earlier than we probably all did, right? Like they probably feel like it's safe because everyone's gay at school, and it's just a thing now.
I always think about like how my life would be if I was actually bolder or braver enough to come out when I was in high school and stuff. Like not too many people know my story, but I didn't finally admit to my parents that I was queer, much less bisexual, until like I was in like a committed relationship in my late 30s. Some family knew, like my sister, she knew and stuff like that, because like I was open with her about it and stuff like that. But I never had the bravery to say something to my mom about it, because like my mom is like a black Southern Baptist lady from South Carolina. How do you come at that?
Well, I know it's a value thing, definitely, for something, because you value your relationships with people, you value
that is true,
your family, and so you don't want to see stuff like that get hurt or get affected. But if you can't be yourself, what is the value?
You're hurting yourself in the long run,
right?
And stuff like that. That's honestly why a lot of queer people, like, they will tell you like I have my real family and I have my family, which is like the people that know and support them and love them the most outside of their actual family unit, stuff like that. That's a thing.
Yeah.
I think definitely with the don't say gay bill. Well, first let me address the U-Haul thing, because that's the most gayest thing that these folks could have done in the first place. You are in a U-Haul truck with 30 other males with beards. Isn't that like almost equally as the black room in a gay club or something? Just like, or a bathhouse. I'm just like, really? Why would you do the most dumbest thing? And then if someone is scratching their butt or scratching their balls, y'all so packed in a small U-Haul, you have to feel that. Like, come on now. If you're gonna affect I won't say if you're gonna affect something gay, don't do the gay stuff. But it's just like I was shocked to see that.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing too. That's kind of like, why they didn't think for a moment, like, we got 30 plus white people, all grouped together. Like, they didn't think that was gonna stick out as being odd.
In a U-Haul? I mean, come on now, y'all. A U-Haul.
I mean, if they were like a group of people that weren't white, I'm sure they would have been caught much faster. People see a group of any minority more than like 10 people, they're gonna call the cops like immediately.
Shoot, sometimes you just gotta be 3 people deep and they'll call the cops.
Right. Like, oh, they're having a party. They're not where they're supposed to be. Like,
but how in the heck are you spending $200 some plus dollars in getting to travel wherever these folks came from to get like a $32 U-Haul van to hop in so you can go to a private rate. First of all, you got to drive through a traffic in a U-Haul. That's a hot mess. And if you don't, what if the person just, going fast, trying to hit corners and everything? You got dudes laying all on you. I know this
They're
is
fine.
very sarcastic, but it's just, yeah. I'm just like, this is the dumbest stuff. But I'm glad that the cops caught them. Definitely with
Kudos to the citizen that called it. Kudos to that, because like
yes,
Yeah.
it could have been a nightmare. It could have been a massacre and stuff like that.
Right.
And I hate to say it, but it seems like we see more and more of this shit since January 6th.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
That like has started people just
Yeah.
want to do stuff like that now. And
Yeah.
that honestly, like seeing stuff like that, it scares me, right? Like I don't if I go to Pride Parade, right, the whole time they be thinking about
Now I'm gonna
stuff
be like
that.
looking out the
I'm
corner
gonna
of
be-
my eye and shit.
Yeah, like is someone gonna come in a U-Haul? Is someone just gonna drive a car through this crowd right now? And I have to be I'm on guard, right? Because
Yeah.
there's gonna be people that probably live in that neighborhood that don't like gay people, and anyone could do anything, right? It's just you have
Yeah.
a big group of people in one place, and everyone knows that it's going on at that time that day, like so. It's worrying.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be scared to go to events like that, right? You want to go
Me
out
neither.
and support and show your pride, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Ron DeSantis thing, I think with the kids, you mentioned LeRon, like they not feeling loved or accepted at home, and to be able to go to a school and be like, man, I wish I could tell I have to tell my teacher this, and your teacher cannot really respond for the fear of being sued. Like that makes a child think they're less valued. That not only the parents don't accept them, that teacher of theirs don't accept them. And I think DeSantis didn't think about that. Like I wrote a piece about this. Just like he didn't go around and talk to queer families.
He's not going to. Like the dude's a fucking Republican. He's not going to.
Yeah.
My
But
my whole thing is like I'm like this is the state of Florida. Like people being queer is the thing you're worried about in school. You need to be worried about the damn test grades. You know what I mean? Like every time it's bad because every time I see a headline in the news about somebody doing something stupid or getting arrested for something or just something wild just happening, the first thing I ask myself is this happening in Florida?
Yeah.
And it's common sense. Like damn, like like the education. If the education system out of whack, people are doing dumb shit out in the street. And like where's your focus at, dude?
Right. It's just kind of sad to see that that this is happening to those kids, that the bill got passed, and hopefully like parents don't report any teacher and stuff, because the teachers out there, they're there to educate the kids and stuff, but they also wants to be an ear for the kids.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
human beings,
encouraging.
right? Like they're
to
they're
be
people.
serious
Right.
about this, I haven't really heard that much. I haven't heard that much like progress on this as far as like I haven't heard any teachers being like reported or whatnot. I haven't really heard like kids being detained from their parents because like they like they're queer and like they live in a household that accepts it and stuff like that. I haven't really heard about it. Now I'm not, maybe it's because I'm not really looking for it. I feel like if this news was prevalent enough, we would be hearing about it. And stuff like that. Because God knows, like like you open up a web browser and like you're getting hit with news feeds and stuff like that, whether you ask for them or not. But I haven't really heard a lot out of it, so I don't know. Like maybe corporations like Disney and Disney and ESPN are the same company. Maybe they're doing a good enough thing for the fight and stuff like that. McDonald's, all them places and stuff like that. Maybe they're doing enough to like suppress it from being like a real hot issue. But
Well, I think right now there's more important matters that's going on. Definitely with gun control, of all the shootings that happened, the January 6th committee hearing and stuff. Like even the Johnny Depp Amber Heard crap. That
I
mess.
can't. I understand. I understand why that was a distraction that was probably needed at a good time because it's June 18th and any day now I'm waiting to wake up and say Roe versus Wade has gotten overturned or some shit.
That's
so so it was one of those things where like the distraction came at maybe the right or the wrong time depending on how you look at it and stuff like that. But We gotta keep like there's more than just one ball in the air at any given time. Like we got gun control going on. We got like LGBTQ rights. We got hell. Like it looks like we're going to be going back to the Jim Crow era as far as like equal like equal rights are going for black and brown citizens and stuff like that. You know, there's so much going on, and you know, like it's like the dog and the squirrel syndrome. Like they want to focus on everybody focuses on one thing. Like everybody's pissed because of inflation. Everybody's pissed because of because of like gas prices and all that stuff. Like there's so many things going on. You gotta make sure you put all of it into the same bowl and not just like take one thing out, you know, and look at the one thing that you're taking out and stuff like that. There's so much stuff going on, you know. People need to get their shit together.
Yeah. Lately it feels like it's going backwards, right? Like it's just make any sense.
Yeah, it's you know, like I understand multitasking is not for everybody. I get that, but you know, like when it comes to the things that are gonna make sure you can live like your life in the United States of America, and you know, like it'd be the happiest, easiest life for you. You got to multitask all this stuff that's going on in our news. You got to multitask all this stuff that's going on out in your street, you know, and, you know, things like that. Because like you will literally wake up and it'll look like it'll look like we're living in Starship Troopers, where you have to be considered a citizen to have all these rights.
Yeah, there's just so many things going on. I think that's why people say when it comes to being a little bit political, when it comes to politics, you need to get the right person in. But you also, while getting the right person in, you need to focus on all the candidates and see what do they stand for. And if they stand for things that don't match what you stand for, that's someone you need to make people aware to be like, this is not the right person that needs to be in this position, because they may say something that you think is good, but in execution, they may or may not do it, and it might get worse from there. Sorry, West Virginia. That one guy that you guys got, who was just so happy to get taxes off from the grocery bill.
Oh, you mean Virginia?
Oh yeah,
my state.
Yes.
Governor Youngkin.
Yes,
Youngkin.
He won his thing, I guess.
But it was an insidious way of how he got into office, because that wasn't his true platform. His true platform was critical race theory and some other nonsense.
Yeah, and now it just looked like I don't even know what he's doing now.
Living as a Democrat in the United States is waking up every morning and being like, I told you this shit would happen.
So, yeah, I think the obsession with these things is just it's bizarre, because it's like, why are you putting yourself in something that doesn't even affect you at all? Nothing what the gay community is doing affects anything that you're doing for your livelihood. And no one is trying to hit on you. No one is trying to sleep with you. Definitely, if you are not. Gay people
I love it because you know, like homophobic dudes are always like I don't care if you're gay, but just don't do anything and stuff like that.
They're always the ugliest people saying that.
And then the moment we turn around and say, you're not my type anyway, dude, and then it's like all of a sudden they become Karens. It's like, what?
My girls don't even want you, sir. So I don't know why you're worried about gay guys like coming up to you.
Like, certain people have certain standards, and as a straight person, if you don't meet none of the standards, you're just a cool person. We enjoy your company, but that's all to the level. I'm not trying to bang you. I'm not trying to be with all of your nonsense, because if my thing was this, if I was trying to be with a straight person and everything, I got to make sure that you're not crazy, that you don't got 17 things of drama going on, that you're not trying to get an Oscar with all this drama that's going on. I'm not trying to have any of that. If my goal is trying to have a one night stand with you and to see if it's good or not, then okay. But I could fantasize about that and call that a day. I don't need to be doing all these 15 steps.
All I gotta say is you're in bad shape if straight women don't want you and gay dudes don't want you. You're in bad shape.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but anything else about this topic, you guys?
Also, for the straight girls out there, there's a lot of girls who are like, oh, I'm so for gay people, but then their boyfriends are like homophobic
Yeah, why are
and
you
stuff
with
like
them?
that.
Why are you with them?
Exactly. And they won't care, you know, they're not gonna dump him
Oh
because they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I don't
Oh
care
yeah.
if he's,
Oh,
I don't care if he's homophobic, like he's,
that dimensionality. Oh my
yeah,
god. Yeah, it's insane.
yeah.
Once again, the drama for Oscar nomination.
It's like
Don't need it.
if you want to be an ally, you gotta be you gotta be all in. You know, don't do this
Yeah.
fucking hokey pokey. You know, don't
No.
show up at drag brunches and stuff and be like, yes, queen,
With
and all this
rainbows
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then go back to your problematic homophobic boyfriend that doesn't like your queer cousin from Indiana. You know.
Yes.
Of course,
Well,
it's Indiana.
Well, Indiana do have some hot people. Some hot
Indiana was the name of the first state I could think of. Like I should have picked a red ass state, like New Mexico or some shit.
Oh,
you know?
dang, that's too random.
Texas or something.
Oh no, like Texas's queer population is fucking phenomenal. Actually, I actually thought about if I was going to move back to Texas, like I probably wound up in Dallas or San Antonio. You know.
Mm.
Yeah. Good.
Texas.
Well, we're gonna go into our third topic. When we create characters in games, do we insert our sexuality in what we make? In fact, does sexuality make people look at games differently? Why or why not is this important? So I will say that not my sexuality goes into a character, but sometimes my idea goes into it. So definitely,
I think you're muted.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already know where you're going with this, Ed, but please continue.
Oh goodness, are you talking about daddy types or something like that?
Oh no.
Oh.
That's not where my head's at.
Oh, well, so mostly like when I create a character, like definitely Saints Row 3. You know, I put the way that I look, but I also make my person kind of buff and stuff and everything. Again, you know, I put like red hair, you know, I get the beard and everything, and sometimes the glasses if they have it right. I kind of do it there, but then I go in and have like my character speak in a deeper tone and everything. And I just kind of I think even when I do like in Mass Effect and stuff, like my ideal of sexuality is that, you know, there's a tonality, there's a look to it and everything. But like as for, you know, because the thing about this, my friends, okay, so this may have been a little bit homophobic back in the day. My friends, we would play SmackDown, and sometimes you could create a character. So they put me in like this priest outfit, but they would have me do a sexy walk, and my taunt was like to like fill myself up and then shimmy down like very flamboyantly. And I was just like,
wait.
That's kind of funny in the priest outfit.
I wish I had a screen grab of that.
this is back on the PS2 days. And so but they gave me powerful moves and everything. And it was just like, what in the, and I couldn't do anything about it because it wasn't my game. It wasn't my PS2. I was just like, it is what it is.
How a preacher though? I don't understand.
I don't know. This is that's what they they decided to make. They thought it was comedic. The irony is that you are this father who's this Christian and about God and stuff, but you're doing all of this sexual animations or the sexual moves and stuff. So it's just like,
well, I mean, there are plenty of queer people in the church. Don't ever think there isn't.
oh, weird. But I think when I create my character, I have an idea of how I want to look and everything. If I was going to put my sexuality in it, it'd just be like, you know, I'm still a normal person. I just have different choices and everything. What about you, Grayson?
Yeah, I guess it depends on my mood. It depends on the game I'm playing. But yeah, I kind of do what you do sometimes. Like I'm thinking like when I played Cyberpunk or something where like I started to kind of make someone that looks like myself, but then I just try to end up making like a hot dude that's like looks nothing like me. So I'm like, okay, this looks nice on the facial hair, and I start putting like earrings or tattoos. I'm like, okay, it's getting it's getting better, but then there's some stuff like when I played Monster Hunter World, I picked a female, and I just picked someone who looks nothing like me. And it's like just for fun, really, because I feel like you mostly play as a man in most games. So whenever I do get the opportunity to play as a female, I like to do that as well. But it's really, yeah, it just depends on my mood or the type of game I'm playing. I don't really play a lot of games like Mass Effect where you can kind of romance male characters, so I don't really have a lot of experience with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's super important to have the options at least to have a character that looks like you. You know, especially if you're a person of color, when you usually don't have the option to play as a character that looks like you. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Just try to make a hot guy for the most part.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and then they get covered up with like a bunch of armor and stuff, and it's like I don't even.
Yeah,
it's like why did I even waste all this time?
Right.
What about you, Duran?
I like I said, I'm with Greysun on that. I always want to try to make like the hottest character I can think of and stuff like that. And sometimes use the hottest character is usually a default character, and you just like accentuate what's already there.
Yeah.
like in Cyberpunk, like Ed, you saw me. Like I went through that whole process in Cyberpunk. Like I streamed it, like the actual character creation. Which, by the way, like I'm actually surprised because I forgot to turn the filter on when I created my character. So like you saw his junk in the character creation screen on Twitch and stuff like that. I never got dinged for it. but yeah, like basically, yeah, we're creatures of habit. We kind of like what we like, and we like what we see and stuff like that. So
right.
So yeah, I'm guilty of that. Like I will make like this ultra hot character and things like that. And
I want to know what you was laughing about though, about me.
Oh, it was something completely different. So don't mind me now. No, what I was thinking was like when you was like you will take the queerest route that you can. Like for example, in Mass Effect, like if the dialogue stream can get as queer as possible, you go that route. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was picturing with you. So like even in games where it's not even implied, like you'll try and do it.
Okay, I'm guilty of that.
Like yes, just imagine if Super Mario RPG had like the same like dialogue string that Mass Effect and the Dragon Age games had. Oh god, I can see Ed going to like some extremes.
Oh yes,
just want to bang everyone if you get the chance, basically.
Ed, are you that type? Are you that type of character? That type of person? You would try to hook up with like for example, like let's say Fire Emblem, like Fire Emblem 3 Houses and stuff like that. Did you see some characters? I was like, oh, I like this dude. Like, I need to go after this.
On my first try, yes, I would. On the second try, I'd be like, okay, I need to find somebody. But see, the thing with Fire Emblem is weird because the thing about it is the women in the Fire Emblem games are like iconic queens to me.
Right. Yes. Yeah, like, they are.
There's one, I cannot think of her name in Awakening, but she is sassy. She is hardcore. I'm just like, queen, icon. I love you know, like I think it's when it comes to guys in games, it's just like, okay, I like how you look. I like how they draw you, your personality.
Also, what's the thing about the gaming community now where all the characters are like unconventionally attractive?
Like the Pokemon, like the new Pokemon professors that I want.
Yeah, what is up with
that?
They know what they're doing.
Like every time I'm on Twitter, I just see daddy. It's like, what? This is Pokemon. What is
it was not only
they even sexualized the Pokemon. It's like
it wasn't even within 6 hours they had that professor in the jockstrap. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. It works.
You put a basic white man with facial hair and everyone just freaks out.
I'm not saying that I did not look for a good 10 minutes because it worked. And I was just like, you know what, artists and Nintendo and gaming community, I salute you.
It's like they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
You when Ryu got a beard and
oh my god, like queer gamers everywhere is like, I don't even play Street Fighter, but I'm gonna play this game.
talking about
They're always showing his
Twister.
feet, always showing his muscles. Like they know exactly what they're doing.
Right, and dude just gets more and more like over the top.
Jacked.
Remember when Ryu was just like this unassuming Asian guy that knew martial arts? Remember those days? And now it's like
Like a sex icon.
yeah, it's like
Well, shoot, look at Guile in the new Street Fighter 6 commercial. He got a little beard thing.
oh yeah,
So
like
it's just like, oh, someone trying to make him, someone that
okay, you know what though,
I
I like that new character design. I like that one. then again, my favorite character in Street Fighter on sex appeal alone will always be Charlie.
Oh wow, yeah.
Let's see who that is.
For Street Fighter
Hey,
Alpha.
Grace is looking him up.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, he had the
He
Z
has
kind
cool long
of
hair.
hair, and then
Yeah.
he had the glasses. Yeah, he was that
wearing,
version of
wearing
Guile.
that wearing that puffer vest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you know, it's a wonderful day we live in with video games because, like I said, like they know what they're doing. Like you, for example, like you know, like look how they make like queer icons in games for because you're not gonna tell me otherwise that Anna Williams from Tekken is not a queer icon.
Okay.
You're not gonna tell me otherwise. You know, my friends used to dog me because they're like, why are gay guys always play with Anna? And I'm like, I play with Anna, and I was like, yeah, you're not straight. It's like, I don't know how I should feel about that, but every time they announce that Anna's coming in a new Tekken game, I always get excited.
It's kind of like Rosalina from Mario. Like every time she's a playable
Oh, is
character.
Rosalina the one for the Mario universe?
Or just Peach, I guess, or any female.
Yeah, because
character.
the thing about it is that there's still the stereotype that gay gamers are not good at certain video games, like fighters or stuff.
Fighting games,
And
yeah.
then when you beat the mess out of a straight opponent, like they're like when you showcase them how high of a level of skill that you are, it's embarrassing to them.
Who was
Them
the guy that was dominating Smash Brothers for a while? What was his name? Oh God. Something Fox. You guys might not. You guys, I just
familiar, but
I just realized you guys might not be all about esports like that. I'm sorry.
The black was he the black one
Yeah.
with
Sonic Fox.
with,
Sonic Fox.
he wears the furry.
Yeah. Yeah, Sonic Fox. Yeah. It was funny because like I guess everybody assumed he was straight until he had to turn around to like, no, I am gay as hell. And then people were upset, and I was like, oh, we need to start banning him from competitions and all that stuff. Like, no, don't be mad now.
right.
Yeah.
It's a level of gratification to queer people when you're beating expectations and stuff, because you just be like, well, you know, the gay gamer label is just like, just because you're gay, you play games, doesn't mean that you're not a skilled gamer or anything. It's just that you are a person, this is your sexuality, and you just love playing video games. You're good at them. You know, you literally can have the best player in certain games, but they can't drive a lick in Mario Kart, or they can't beat the first level of World 101 in Mario. Like, just because you may play a lot of female characters and stuff doesn't mean that you don't like playing male characters. It's just that maybe you just like that preference of playing. There's other games that you may just like not love, but you may just love Mega Man, who's a male character, and you could probably just like go through Mega Man with ease.
Before I ever identified as anything ever queer, like I was always playing with female characters. It's funny, and I think Metroid for that. I do because it wasn't until like I got myself in trouble in real life for playing with female characters all the time that I stopped playing with female characters.
Yeah. So, but I think when people look at sexuality in games, oh no, sorry. Ooh, I apologize for that. Just looking at them differently and stuff, it doesn't change the fact of what that game is. You know, you when you have the freedom to create, you are able to create anything that you want. To a lot of gamers, it's just a skin. It's nothing more than that. But when you feel like when it feels like you're more into the game, that it makes you feel like you're part of the game, that the decisions that you're making with the words and the dialogue choices, that this may be something that you would say because it represents or is connected to your morals, that's when you start looking at the games differently. Your sexuality really doesn't play a part, but you know, just because you're straight and you looking at someone who is gay or queer or whatever in the game shouldn't make you look at that game differently. You should be able to be like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that may have led up to this point. And you may not get the full context. So in order to know the full context, you need to play the game for yourself and be able to make your own opinion. Then just jumping on to something else. You know.
Right.
Anything else, you guys, for this one?
Yeah, I mean, people just have to like know, like they should know this by now. But just because someone's gay, it doesn't always mean they're feminine or like they're gonna pick the female characters, right? Because a straight man can be feminine and still be straight, right? And we can be feminine and we can be, you know, masculine or whatever. So like it's just annoying when people think like, oh, I'm gonna play as Peach in Smash Brothers because I'm gay. It's like, no, I'm just playing as her because she's a good character, right? Like,
think of the cosplay, like women playing male characters, guys dressing up as female characters. Like there's a picture of a Princess Peach from a dude who's literally been in the gym and his muscles are bulging, but he wears a Princess Peach dress.
It's really cool to see that stuff.
Right, like you could see just all the kind of gender breakthroughs on it because it is cosplay. It doesn't represent sexuality or anything. It's just that you think some people may be like, okay, this character might look cool with me if I could give it some ideas. Look at the Final Fantasy VII 2 news that just dropped, and everybody posting their character versions of them. There's been a lot of black female cosplay artists who have took the idea of Bearer of Cloud or Tifa and just really highlighted, just like, this is way past gays. This is art. Yeah. It's nothing about sexuality or anything. This is a high level of art.
Yeah, it's really just connecting with the character, right? Like I saw on Twitter, I think the other day, of a black female cosplayer. She did an Aerith. She looks so good too, right?
Yeah, I saw that one.
I was scrolling through the comments, and it was actually like not really anything negative, which I was surprised, because there's always that one asshole in there with like one follower who's like, Aerith is black. I mean, Aerith is white or something, or Tifa is white, and it's like stupid.
It's like give it a rest, guys.
Like, get the hell off of Twitter, because.
I mean, now, and there are some people who will hypersexualize some characters. You know, there's some. Right. Like there's some jockstrap pictures of Peach that males have. You like to the point where it's like literally comedic. Like go-go boots, the pink jockstrap with the pink hearts at the top. The gloves are sexy. Like they're trying to have an OF page or something. Whatever. It's literally to the point where it's bonkers. But it's their take. It's their art, it's their creativity, and this is, they may sexualize this character or whatever, but that's on them, you know. And they may be like, I love the way they dress, but I can't play Super Mario Brothers 2. In fact, what game does this character even come from? Like, they may not even know a history of where certain games come from. You know. So, anything else on this topic? LeRon, Greysun?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Then we're going to get into our final topic. Time for our personal 3 hot characters from 2010 to now.
Oh, God.
Who do you have on your list?
Oh, God.
LeRon,
wait, why are you starting with me?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Greysun, go first then, if you would like to go.
Okay, so I mean, like, I told you earlier, like, I have like a list right here of 7 people that I found. Cause I was trying to look for like specifically newer stuff, and not say like the same old stuff that I would usually say, because I always say Chris Redfield, right? That's like a character.
Which circa of Chris Redfield?
I mean, Resident Evil Village Chris still looks great, right? Like, even though he's older and like a little more like,
he's got the dad bod now.
Yeah, exactly. He looks great. He looks great. But I have a new Resident Evil character who I think I would put above him now, and that's Carlos from Resident Evil 3.
Hell yes!
Yeah, he's a looker.
Let me guess. You saw the nude mod, didn't you?
I have seen.
You saw the nude mod, like.
So maybe that might have changed my opinion on him. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen a nude mod,
it's hard to find. I'll say. Well, it's hard to find, but it's also easy enough to find. You know how to look for it.
Yeah, if you just look on Twitter,
that's a good one though. But kudos to the Resident Evil team, especially Resident Evil 2 and 3, that team that did those games, because man, they did phenomenally well to make these people look more like modern and natural and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they look super.
They look like they look like real people that would be walking off the street, stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely a good pick, Greysun.
Yeah, I mean Jill's also a good pick too.
Oh yeah, Jill. Yeah,
Resident Evil 3 as well. I also have Zagreus from Hades, which I think is a pretty good pick. I mean, everyone in Hades is pretty hot, right? The girls are beautiful, the guys are beautiful. Like everyone's barely clothed, everyone's just hot for each other.
That's all the characters for me from Hades.
Yes, Zagreus is giving people bi panic.
I would bang even the devil.
Hades,
yeah.
Hades, yeah.
Yeah, I mean. He has a really good voice too,
and that's why I will bang him too. So
You're like, just give me everyone.
Right. I would make him. I would make him go to heaven. I would just.
Oh my God. And I also want to shout out Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a really good newer game that deserves some attention. Like Jin Sakai is awesome, and when you have those hot tub scenes, it shows a little tushy.
Yes,
that's all I'm gonna say.
He has been hot ever since he was shown. Not Insomniac.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Yeah, ever since they showed him, I was just like, ooh,
yeah, really stoic, confident,
and deadly.
Deadly,
classy.
Also,
now for the
emotional.
The other IPs in the game look like hot trash. Not IP. I mean the AI in the game. They look like hot trash. Yeah. But
it's fine. As long as he looks good.
Yes. Him and the horse in the fields.
That's pretty much my top ones. I also wrote down Bayonetta, Geralt from The Witcher.
Okay, so you're stealing my answers now.
Okay, I'll maybe
No. They're deeper on my list.
Yeah.
We probably have the same list
out there, but yeah.
Nathan
Drake is a good one too.
Oh yeah.
Nathan Drake, he doesn't do nothing for me.
No, he's just like charming, I guess.
It's the personality. I mean, he's good looking for sure. He's not like runaway good looking.
No, he doesn't have like sex appeal. I feel like because he's never
he's my number 3 actually.
I actually would have went with Chloe and with the black girl from Lost Legacy.
Nadine.
Oh,
yeah.
Nadine. Nadine is just something about her. I know. Ooh, she just she does
shit out of Drake.
Yes. I'm naturally attracted to like masculine like women and stuff like that. And when I say masculine, I mean like just women who like they're not ladylike.
Right.
I'm so like man, when Nadine rolled up and she whooped Drake's ass in that library, I was like
yes.
I was like, more of her please, and they must have heard me because we got the Lost Legacy like a year or two later. All right, so I already mentioned him earlier, but definitely Nash or Charlie from Street Fighter, the way you want to say it. Even though like in his newest iteration, because he's like half cyborg and stuff like that, in my opinion, dude can still get it. And then Jin Kazama from Tekken. Yeah, just look him up.
Yeah.
And because I mean, like. Because he's one of the Tekken characters like he looks good in like his martial arts get up. He looks good in regular clothes when you dress him up and stuff like that. Some things like that. Plus, like I don't know, like I feel like Namco was always trying to sexualize him. Like because when we first meet him, like he's a teenager and stuff like that. But as the series has progressed and stuff, and he's become more adult and stuff like that. Like he's still got that factor.
He has like an 8-pack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's wild. And you already mentioned Nathan Drake, which Nathan Drake was on mine. Oh, we lost Ed.
Yeah, I think his
Sorry, yeah, something happened. You guys was freezing. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Special recognition to like default male Commander Shepard.
Wow.
Special recognition for that guy. And those are my picks. I mean, like I'm not gonna sit up here and try and be a horn dog about like fictional characters and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, though, like fictional characters in video games now, like they're usually modeled after somebody in real life. So
Right.
like whoever the character model for that guy, good job.
Yeah, there's no more blocky graphics like the PS1 days, so now we can actually thirst after a lot of
Yeah.
characters.
Yes.
So
Yeah. And Greysun, I definitely like, I do like Zagreus from Hades, but I think it's the voice for me. It's not just the art behind him. I think
his voice
that
is really good. And the
Yeah.
voice actor for Zagreus is like I think the developer, like the main developer or something.
Oh,
And
really?
he wasn't even a voice actor from what I've heard.
Oh man.
And he does a really good job. Like his voice is nice and like low and like kind of, I don't know, there's something about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, for me, Barrett from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Good choice. Good choice.
Googly moogly.
Exactly. Googly moogly.
His beard is so detailed.
His beard, his body, his voice. He is one of the most. When I was able to use it and stop using Cloud in Final Fantasy VII, that heightened my love for him. Oh yeah,
And thanks to Square for not making him a typical black dude.
Right.
Yes. JD from Gears. I
Wait,
know
JD? Is that it?
Yeah. Did I say J? Yeah, JD
JD.
from Gears 5.
Okay.
So I know he is like kind of like the least interesting person in Gears 5. JD Phoenix from Gears 5, that boy, that goatee, he looked more beefier in this game, and I was just like, yeah, I guess he's my kind of type. I think there's something about beefier folks and hairy folks that I just I grab onto.
You want to grab onto?
You want to grab onto? Good. Yes.
Work. Okay, so this is a character from Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and like what makes it about him is that
wait, who is it?
He Rourke, Rourke, from Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I love his accent, and he is deadly. Like he wants to kill Laura and stop her at all costs. It's that villain, just that villain aesthetic about him that I'm just like, I love something about you. This evil that's in you. It's just so, something that I love that just draws me in, and I love it so much. And he's just forced to be reckoned with. So those are my top 3. I had Samus from Metroid Dread because that moment she went to Craig, and he was behind the chain yelling at Samus, and Samus put up her gun and looked at him. It was just like, not today, fool, and blast him in his mouth. And that whole fight, my clothes almost fell off like it was Full Force.
It's crazy about that whole scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in any Metroid game, by the way, in any Metroid game. But it's crazy the fact that like it was like she didn't even flinch. It was like because my question was, how is he there? How is he there? He's supposed to be dead. Like, how is he there?
She's not even surprised.
Yeah.
She's just like no fear at all in her eyes.
I'm like, is it the same crate? Is it just part of the same species? Like, I need answers, and she's just like, nope, blast you right in the mouth.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah, she's just my top tier iconic queen. Like, I love Sims, and definitely Sims Zero from the Smash Brothers. When she kicks tail, I get hot and bothered. I can't say no more than that. And my last, like, kind of honorable mention was Lady Love Dies from Paradise Killer. I just love the way that she looked, her solving crimes, and she's so cool, and I love the name Love Dies, Lady Love Dies. It's just such a cool name for that game. If you haven't played Paradise Killer, everybody, I recommend to go play that. Great soundtrack. It's a game to really like spend about 20 hours into. Really, really good. But you guys, anything else that you guys would like to discuss, or should we wrap this up? I think we had a great Pride panel. We had a good discussion.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up one more character.
Go ahead.
The Dante from the Devil May Cry the reboot from
yes,
Ninja Theory.
Yes,
that one. I remember watching the trailers, and it shows him shirtless all the time, and
I love the look of that guy.
Yeah, he looks really good. I think I remember having like a little crush on him when that game came, which is also just a really good game. I feel like a lot of people kind of slept on.
Yes. Any more honorable mentions from you, LeRon?
Not the top of my head. Like, that was a good one with Rourke. I never played Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Like, it's actually a game that's in my library. I never actually played it. That's a good pick. I will give you that one. I'm trying to. I can't really think of much more like the default V from Cyberpunk, male or female, looked amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Grayson said Geralt, which is that's definitely a good one. The freaking Connor droid from Detroit Become Human.
Oh
yes,
he's really pretty.
Yeah. Yes.
Back to that game.
I forgot about that game.
I love Detroit Become Human. So that scene, I think it's with the son killing the dad. That whole scene in the house.
Yeah, that game has a lot of really intense moments.
Well, everybody, that is going to be it for our Pride panel. Thank you, LeRon. Thank you, Grayson. Before we go, if you guys want to support Boss Rush Network, you can join us on patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. If you just get, you can join us for $1. And if you get it, just sign up and you support us with $1, you get access to the Boss Rush podcast 3 days, Boss Rush After Dark 2 weeks, instead of Definition 2 weeks in advance. And also you guys get Nintendo expansion pass a week early also. If you join us for $5, you get your name mentioned in the producer shout out section of each show on Patreon. You also get the same perks for the $1 tier. And thanks for supporting Boss Rush Network, and thank you for helping produce our show. At $50 though, you get all of that content, and you'll be able to advertise your content, podcast, stream, or creative outlet subject to leadership approval across the Patreon shows. But you also, like I said, get access to all the previous tiers that aren't limited. So you guys, if you would like to join us and support us, really do. Just at $1, or if you feel like you want to be a producer, join us at $5. If you'd like to get more of your content out there, $50 a month will help us out greatly. And we would kind of help promote you guys. And if you also want to not promote but if you guys also want to be a part of Boss Rush, we have our shows that you guys could join us with. You could join us on our Discord community. Also, you guys could join our writing team. We are always looking for writers for Boss Rush Network. If you guys would like to join that, you could email us at opportunities@bossrush.net and talk to some of our editors there. Yes, and like I mentioned, you can find us on Redbubble. If you would like to support us there for our store and everything. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get it up at www.redbubble.com/people/bossrushgames/shop. You'll be able to find our shows Into the Pop Lock, Crossroads, um, Talk the Walk, After Dark, Standard Definition. There's a lot of artwork on there that you guys could get. I see we got one for Snacktendo. So if you love snacks, you guys should join us with there. You also could get stuff with the EXP cast with their logo on it. Standard, like I said, Standard Definition. And become an Elite Block agent if you would like. And join us there. But anything else, you guys, that you would like to announce or shout out or promote, Greysun?
Yeah, for anyone that wants to follow me, check out my stuff. You can find me on Twitter at Greysun Morales, just my first name and my last name. And then you can check out my writing over at GameRant.com. And yeah, if you want to find me like on TikTok or like Instagram, it's usually just my first name, last name. Very easy to find me since my name is spelled kind of weird. So yeah.
Yes. LeRon.
All right. Just look me up on social media. Exodus 803, EXODUS 803. And good news is it's also my Twitch and YouTube handle, as well as my PlayStation Network ID and my Steam ID. So there you go.
Yes, and if you guys want to follow me, I am on Twitter at ThatBridgeCo and on Instagram. You can check out Into the Pop Block on Mondays and for the live show, Wednesdays for the recorded. And if you listen to us on the podcast or like Anchor or iTunes, we would love a 5-star review from you guys. Or even if you listen to us on Spotify, give us a review. We would love to hear from you guys on what you think. With that, everybody, have a great Pride. Hopefully you enjoyed this month. Be who you are. We love you. We love everybody. Please don't be a dick to other people. Be respectful and encourage someone who needs encouragement. Be you, be more, be best, as our logo says. Thank you, Greysun. Thank you, LeRon. And we will see you guys next year for our Boss Rush Pride winner. With that, everybody, we see you later. Bye. I don't know how to end it. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Take care.